Hey, Leanna here. It's been a little hot minute. Well, the Lord has been dealing with me on His death and resurrection and women and maybe trying to boost up my confidence, or maybe it's just specifically for someone else. So He has told me to share this. So sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do. So I'm sharing it while I'm doing my hair today. So when Jesus was crucified, Mark, get down. When Jesus was crucified, he had been telling them, right? He had been telling them, look, I'm going away. I'll be gone. I'll rise back on the third day. Well, he did that as usual. He kept his word. Well, there's one particular portion of the resurrection that, as I've been reading through the Gospels lately on this journey of studying Jesus's behavior and trying to become a better disciple of his, right? By learning how he dealt with things and people versus just what other people tell you to do. That's what we need to do. So I've been on this journey, and as I have journeyed through Matthew, then Mark, now I'm Luke, go. I've just felt an urgency ever since I've been in Matthew that I needed to release this word. But there's always something that comes up, being a mom, being, working full time, things like that. So I was like, well, you know what? If I can't do it any other time, let's just do it while I'm doing my hair. Why not? So anyway, put y'all on some hair game, ladies. This little sucker right here, that's Platinum by Kenra. That's some good stuff. My hair will not hold a curl to save its life unless I use this stuff. So I spray it in, then I brush it through, and then I use my wand. So back to Jesus. I felt this urgency to let women know that we are very much so needed. Jesus very much so came for us as well. It's not just men that have the gifts. Women also have the gifts. And I know women know this because I've always known it. I've always had very powerful pastors' wives growing up, very powerful women leaders. My mom was very powerful in my life, my grandmother and my great-grandmother, all powerful women of the Lord. So I've always known it, but even though you've known it, sometimes the Lord takes things and just really has to break it down for you to understand it's for you too. You know what I'm saying? So in Mark, I'm not going all the way back to Matthew because I know there's several versions of this story, and all of them Jesus wants us to know, but the one I most recently read through was the one in Mark. So I'm just going to read it real quick. Now when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome brought spices that they might come and anoint him. Very early in the morning on the first day of the week, they came to the tomb when the sun had risen. And they said among themselves, "Whom will roll away the stone from the door of the tomb for us?" But when they looked up, they saw that the stone had been rolled away, for it was very large. And entering the tomb, they saw a young man clothed in a long white robe sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. But he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, whom was crucified. He is risen. He is not here. See the place where he had lain. But go and tell his disciples and Peter, and he is going before you to Galilee. There you will see him, as he said to you." So they went out quickly and fled from the tomb, for they trembled and were amazed. And they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. So in Matthew, I believe it went on to say that on the way to tell the disciples, they actually ran into Jesus. Like Mary and Mary ran into Jesus on the way to tell the disciples. So when they get there, first of all, I want to point out that it was women who had came to anoint Jesus. It was women who the angel of the Lord spoke to and said to go tell the disciples that he was ready to meet in their meeting place. He had already discussed that with them. So, women, we are very important to the story. We are keys to the story. Even to the point of Jesus putting Adam to sleep and creating us, right? Like, he created us. We weren't just formed out of mud, dirt, and spit. It says that he formed us. And, you know, not saying that men are not important. That is not what I'm getting at by any means. I'm just trying to encourage women because since the beginning of time, Eve's got this bad rep, right? That, we had let down God, we had done this and that. When Adam was right there beside her, he could have stopped her at any moment that he felt that she was doing the wrong thing, yet he didn't. So it wasn't just Eve that was deceived. Adam was in the wrong as well. That's the reason there was curses brought upon all of us, men and women, right? So I want to say that, and then I want to say that for me, this felt like a redemption. It felt like, okay, God, we're getting our name back. You know what I'm saying? Even though there's many books, Esther and things like that, there's many books in the Old Testament that I felt the same way. But this just hit a little bit different. I don't know if it's just the season of life I'm in or what, right? So I was like, man, this is cool. Like, women were the one that was going to anoint Jesus, right, for his resurrection. Women, the angel spoke to. Women, as they were going to tell the disciples, actually seen Jesus first, right? Then there's another account in John where Jesus actually seen them there at the tomb. Like, they thought that Jesus was a gardener, which means he wasn't in his normal form. He didn't look like his normal self, right? And so anyway, back to the women. I wanted to ensure myself that we are very much so a vital part of the story. Very much so. Jesus wouldn't have, met the woman at the well if we wasn't. She had 5 husbands and was with another. But he still saw her as adequate. He still, and back in that day, people think, oh, she was like a modern day hoe or whatever. But no, that's not the case. Women back then didn't have the right to divorce their husbands. Only men could give a certificate of divorce. So for whatever reason, 5 men thought that she was not a good wife. For whatever reason, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's no biblical context to that. We don't know that. But I just wanted to throw that out there that it was not her decision on why she was divorced. That was straight from the men that she was with. So anyways, I just wanted to encourage women. I want to encourage y'all to stay on your face before the Lord. Get up early in the morning, start your day with the Lord. Get in your Bible, read and study for yourself. Develop your relationship with the Lord. And carry that over to your children in your house. You know, we're the first point of contact for Jesus for our children before they go to daycare, before they go to school in the mornings. You know, we are the first point of contact. And I just want to encourage y'all, you know, to encourage them to be a light as we are supposed to be in this dark, cruel world. You know, our kids have so much, they get so much controversy and turmoil at school, that, you know, they deserve a peaceful place to come to. They deserve a peaceful home. They deserve, you know, to be loved and nurtured and cared for. And even if that is your only purpose, that is major purpose. It's not only being a mother. We have to train these children up in the way they should go. My oldest daughter is 18 today, and I have been struggling most of the week this week because I'm like, God, she is a good kid. She's a good kid. She's got discernment through the roof. Like, I wish I had discernment like this kid's got discernment. She is a Christian. She loves the Lord. She has plans to do great and mighty works, even for the Lord, as part of her life decisions. And still in all of that, I'm like, God, but you commanded me to do all I could do to make sure she was ready. Did I do enough? You know, like, this is a big task. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not just chump change. Like, I'm the one, and, you know, of course, her father are the ones that supposed to be training her up in the way she should go. And, you know, we're all broken people here in this world, and there were times, I'll just be vulnerable and open with y'all, there were times to where, you know, I didn't pick the best people to be around my kids. I didn't pick the best out of my brokenness, out of, you know, not healing myself, not fixing myself before I go bringing someone else or trying to teach someone else. Like, we can only teach from a place of knowledge and wisdom. And I can't find my clips. I'm having to use a hair tie. And so, you know, I told her, I was like, you know, I've told her numerous times, not this week, but I'm like, I just hope that I've done enough. You know what I'm saying? I hope I've explained enough of the Bible. I hope I've, you know, even in some of my brokenness, I hope you have learned what not to do. I mean, let's be honest, you know. So anyway, I know as women, we have a lot of pressure on us. And, you know, there are men out there that help relieve that pressure. But when we have to keep a peaceful home, we have to work, we have to clean, cook, you know, sometimes it's hard and we let ourselves go. And I have been one to do that, especially in the past, being in my broken self, right? But I want to go back to what I said, and then I'll let y'all go, about taking time for yourself. This don't mean taking a trip for the weekend and avoiding your responsibilities. It might, you know what I'm saying? God might call you to a weekend of solitude, but I'm saying make sure you hear from the Lord on that, you know, because you do have responsibilities. But what I do want to say is that it is very important for us to rise and seek Him first. Like, I can't tell you how much I've grown over the past year and a half, what I've been through, but yet God still met me in my secret place, and I'm still alive today because of Him. Because if I leaned on my own understanding, if I leaned on my own ways, my own thought process, I would be in a mental institution. Let's just be honest. How many of us feel that way? Like, pad me up and stick me in that padded room. I mean, seriously. But I'm not. As you can see, I'm in my house. So I'm getting ready for church this morning. But, again, I want to encourage y'all. Be encouraged. Don't beat yourself up. No matter how old your children are, don't beat yourself up. God had them go through what they went through to learn things. God had you go through what you went through to learn things. And, you know, what other people put us through is not always fair. But we're the ones that have to do the work to overcome that. I do want to put that out there as well. You know, there are things that happen to us that we didn't ask for as kids, as adults. Any point in your life that things like that can happen. But God, all I can say is but God. The details on that for me will have to come later. But I just want to tell y'all I love you guys. Women, know your value, know your worth, know what you bring to the table, and don't take no less. It should be reciprocated. Your efforts should be reciprocated in all relationships, any and all. Men, for you as well. Any and all relationships, what you put in is what you should expect to get out of it. So if you want a godly woman, speak God into her. Speak life into her. Don't bring her down about herself, about how she looks, about anything. Women, same for y'all now. We can speak life or death over our children and over our husbands, over our significant other, boyfriend, whoever you have in your life right now. You have power in your tongue. You better watch that thing. Do the research. Anyways, love you guys. Have a great day.